I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me, personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
I feel like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terrence Crawford.
It's on him. You know what I mean? It's on him. He knows that he's going to get this fade sooner or later. So it's only a matter of time. Obviously, we can't go down. You know, we can't go down to 135. So, you know, he would have to come up. And, you know, he can get this work anytime. He ready.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat you with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man.
Big news, fight fans. Shakur Stevenson is ready to step into the ring with Devin Haney at 140 pounds. He's not backing down, even agreeing to the rehydration conditions. But here's the real shocker, Shakur is walking into this fight with one thing on his mind, total domination. He's so confident that no one can touch his skill, and he's ready to prove it once and for all. Trust me, you won't want to miss this explosive battle.
For all of these guys, if y'all want me to come to 147, I'm coming in with rehydration clause. I don't even do that. But why am I going up to these guys' weight classes?
Devin Haney isn't backing down. He's 100% committed to the showdown with Shakur Stevenson. Haney's making it crystal clear, this fight is happening, and he's ready to prove he's the top dog in the division. His determination is through the roof, and he's got one goal in mind, taking down Stevenson. This is the fight everyone's been waiting for.
Course still at 135. You can't, you know, say your name without saying Shakur to your female tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think it.
You think Shakur will grow into whatever weight you're in?
I mean, all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. Well, so, and it's only so many guys, like y'all said. It's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights. Which, even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But yeah, no, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible.
Shakur Stevenson is straight up saying he's not afraid of Devin Haney, he's ready for the challenge. But here's where it gets interesting. Shakur's calling out Devin's team, warning they might try to spin the story and make it look like he's avoiding the fight. The drama's building, and this rivalry is about to explode. Don't blink, because this one's going to get intense.
Devin Haney.
Okay.
Devin Haney's probably, to me, I don't think it's hit its point yet, but I think in the next year or two, it'll hit a point where it's like the world is gonna demand, you know what I'm saying? I can see the trajectory feels like it could meet like that.
I would love this fight. But look, you gotta watch what you say with like, and this is not even Devin fault, because Devin is very respectful of my game and I'm respectful of his game. He's a good fighter. But his fans will clip and twist and turn things into something that is not. So I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This is guy Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no.
Shakur Stevenson is walking into this fight with one thing on his mind, he's on a whole other level. He believes no fighter out there can beat him, and he's confident Devin Haney doesn't have the power to knock him out. Shakur's talking big, and he's ready to prove he's in a class of his own. This fight is shaping up to be a war, and Stevenson is ready to show why he's untouchable.
Like he's a fucking stone cold killer who's just gonna go in there and try to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to outbox me. I'm the greatest boxer. How do you... So that's how I feel about the fight.
Yeah.
But it all gotta make sense from a business standpoint. I don't like getting up here and negotiating against myself. And,
for sure.
But for me, I'm willing to
But do you
make the
see
fight
it as
happen.
it being that could you know, like we always said, the Four Kings, even though you wasn't a part of it, the whole thing, the whole plot is like at the end of the road, there's gonna be two guys left standing, and that's the big fight. Do you see that as that's potentially what that could be?
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Devin Haney is laser focused on proving he's the best. He's ready to take on top fighters like Shakur Stevenson to show the world his true greatness. Haney's not backing down. This fight is his chance to make history.
Those fights are not possible. Would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next, or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then, you know, I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see, though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense.
Bill Haney isn't playing around. He's making it clear. They're not dropping weight or waiting around for anyone. If you want a shot at Devin, you're going to have to step up to 140. No more excuses. This is the new level, and it's time to bring it.
He didn't become undisputed yet. They didn't mention the franchise belt, which directly impacted Devin's career early on, right? And it seemed like, I was saying this on my live earlier, you tell me what you think about this, but it seems to me like there's a lot of people that have tried to block y'all ambition, right? Between you signed to the wrong company, you know, Loma not taking the Devin fight, Tio not taking the Devin fight, Rolly saying he just don't want to fight Devin. Do you see that? Like, how do you see that? You know, as far as like, people know you're ambitious, they know you want to be unified, they know you want to be undisputed, so they put all these obstacles up and they make it hard for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. I think it's been historic.
Bill Haney isn't wasting time. He's saying the fight with Devin can go down anytime the challenger is ready. The ball's in their court now. Step up or step aside.
We must keep our composure and our patience and understand that it's part of the process when you're that good. You know what I mean? We can't say it any other way. You know, they're running out of narratives. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's what the people want to see. We don't never say, okay, you know, well, this guy has done something wrong or he did bad business. So, you know, we'll never do it. Obviously, you know, when we go through negotiations and we spend time in there, whether it's put something together for Richard Hitchinson, for him to come back later and to say, you know, yeah, I want that fight. Well, when we were trying to make the fight, we couldn't. You didn't want to negotiate. You went somewhere else. When we were negotiating with Shakur Stevenson.
Tim Bradley is calling it, Shakur Stevenson has the potential to blow past even the legendary Terence Crawford in boxing history. Crawford's already a 5-weight champion, etched in stone on boxing's Mount Rushmore, no doubt. But Bradley sees something in Shakur that could take him even higher. He's got that same elite skill and raw talent that could redefine the game. This isn't about matching Crawford's titles or jumping through weight classes. Bradley's talking about missed opportunities in Crawford's era, held back by the brutal politics of the sport. Imagine if power players like Turkey Alashik had been around when Crawford was rising. Fights against giants like Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, and Yordanis Ugas could have happened way earlier, catapulting Crawford into even more of a stratosphere. Bradley's not just hyping, he's saying Shakur could change the game in ways we didn't think possible. Buckle up, boxing fans, this is about to get wild.
I feel like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terence Crawford. Listen up. Now, not in the stance of becoming 3-time undisputed and, you know, going up to, you know, that many weight classes. Not from that standpoint. You know, he already has 4 weight classes. Crawford is a 5-weight division champion. But in a sense of having the opportunities that Crawford didn't have. You know, Crawford would have been even bigger than what he is if the politics didn't play into the sport at the time. And now that, you know, you have guys like Turkey Alashik that are able to bridge that gap between promoters and, you know, make these big fights.
Shakur Stevenson is stepping into the perfect storm, where top-tier fighters in the 130 to 135 pound range are right at his fingertips, ready to face him in the ring. Names like Devin Haney, Lamont Roach, O'Shaquie Foster, Gary Russell Jr., Dalton Smith, and Ryan Garcia are all potential matchups that could put Shakur's skills to the test. Bradley isn't just talking about Shakur competing with these guys, he's got the chops to beat them, and that's what makes him a real threat. With these massive opportunities in front of him, Shakur has the chance to build a legacy so strong, it could eclipse even Crawford's in terms of influence and achievements. This isn't just about skills, it's about the opportunities and the stage to make history. Get ready, because Shakur Stevenson might just be the next king of boxing.
Turkey was around when Crawford was on his climb. You know, when Crawford couldn't get those big fights with like Thurman and Danny Garcia and Ugas, and you know, he got it later with Sean Porter, but it was later. But imagine if Crawford was able to have that run, and you know, Earl Spence, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Keith Thurman, you know, the list goes on. If he would have had all those guys on his ledger, imagine how big Crawford would be. He would be even bigger than what he is today. You know, bigger than what he is today. So with that being said, you know, with these fighters hovering around 135, these talented fighters, hovering around 135, 130, you know, guys like, you know, O'Shaquie Foster, like I mentioned, going to go up to 135. He's big enough to go to 135.
There's a massive roadblock in the way, but when you watch Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney go toe-to-toe, it's clear, unless something shady happens, these two are nearly impossible to beat. The back and forth between them is electric, with Devin firing back at Shakur and vice versa, showing the fierce rivalry between two of the best in the game. It's a perfect showcase of the intensity at the top level of boxing. At one point, people were talking about the For Kings 2.0 with Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis, drawing comparisons to the legendary battles between Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Roberto Duran. This new era is shaping up to be just as explosive, and these fighters are ready to carry that torch into boxing history.
Devin Haney going to concede to that? I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose, right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur, Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial four kings. It was Devin, Ryan, Teo, and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the Four Kings 2.0, from the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
Here's a twist. Wilfred Benitez, often forgotten when talking about the golden era, actually defeated Roberto Duran, who struggled against several of the original Four Kings. Duran only managed to beat Sugar Ray Leonard once, got destroyed by Tommy Hearns, outclassed by Marvin Hagler, and was bested by Benitez. Despite all of Duran's legendary moments, Benitez remains in the shadows. It's a similar story for Shakur Stevenson, who's often overlooked with names like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, and Teofimo Lopez grabbing the spotlight. But Shakur is starting to rise, especially after his dominant performance against Lopez. Meanwhile, Tank Davis is tangled in legal issues and seems reluctant to fight, which opens the door for new opportunities and challenges that are reshaping the future of boxing. The game is changing, and Shakur Stevenson could be ready to lead the charge.
We had that Four King era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost. He quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and Teo, overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
Bernie Thorboxer is turning up the heat as he reacts to the epic showdown between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Shakur is on another level, and it's impossible to ignore his legendary run. He's now a 4-weight world champion, a 2-time lineal champ, and a 2-time Ring Magazine title holder. He's also a 2-time unified champion at 130 pounds, taking down massive names like Teofimo Lopez, who always rises to the occasion when the pressure's on. Shakur is proving he's built different, and with every victory, his legacy grows stronger. This fight? It's going to be a battle of the ages, and Shakur is coming for everything. Don't miss this.
After the fight, Conor Ben comes into the ring. They talk, have some words, but Shakur Stevenson said, I want to put that same rehydration clause you put on Chris Eubank. Tell me, what did you get out of that moment in the ring?
Well, I heard on the press conference where I think it was his manager said that, that was a clown move, but I think Shakur invited that, I don't even know if I would have said all that about Conor being right then, but I think he really wants that fight. He really wants the money for the fight. He been saying that. And now he came through victorious. I think he really wants that money for that fight.
Devin Haney, on the other hand, isn't just a top contender. He's a 3-weight world champion and was undisputed at one point, proving his place among the elite. Bernie Thorboxer makes it clear, if Shakur wants to step up and face Devin head-on, he should do it without hesitation. Taking on Devin at his prime means no excuses, just pure credit for a monumental win. According to Bernie, both of these fighters are in a class of their own, but beating Devin at his best would solidify Shakur Stevenson's legacy as one of the greatest fighters of this generation. It would prove Shakur has the skill, the heart, and the championship-level mentality to dominate and elevate his place in boxing history forever. This is the fight that will define careers.
Legacy fights, accomplishments, because now Shakur is a 4-weight world champion. Devin is a 3-weight world champion. Devin was undisputed, but now Shakur is a 2-time lineal champion. So he's a 2-time Ring Magazine winner. 2-time unified champion. If you want to add the ring, as far as with the WBO, he was unified at 130. So he's a 2-time unified champion, 2-time lineal champion. Beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez, who rises to the occasion. Had a close fight with George Kambosos. You can make a claim that he was fighting out of frustration or out of emotion. And that was it. He was in his prime too. Josh Taylor seemed to be drained at 140. Not taking away from Devin, but he was already moving up to 47, they were saying. Lomachenko was a little older and small.
Shakur Stevenson just delivered a masterclass against Teofimo Lopez, and Buse Ennis made it clear this performance was next level, especially considering Shakur fought nearly with one hand. His jab was devastatingly sharp, controlling the fight from start to finish, and every move was calculated perfection. Lopez, despite his talent, looked completely outclassed. Critics had doubted Shakur's strength of resume, but he silenced them all in one night, proving his elite. Lopez simply couldn't hang with Shakur Stevenson. He was on a whole different level.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man. He did everything right, man.
A lot of people thought it would be a tough fight because Teo's athletic, Teo's experienced, he's fought on a high level. Mm-hmm. And, they were critical of Shakur. He ain't fought nobody in this and that. Yeah. He made Teo look like everybody else.
Made him look like an amateur. He looked like an amateur. Yes.
Now, technically, what did you see? Right? Where did Teo go wrong in that fight?
Where he went wrong?
Yeah.
Fighting Shakur. That's where he went wrong. Fighting Shakur. I knew he just running his mouth. He just was talking, man.
Even with his left hand injured, Shakur Stevenson dominated from start to finish, throwing that jab non-stop and only using his left when absolutely needed. Buzzy makes it clear, Shakur could have easily stopped Lopez if he had to, but instead, he fought smart and controlled the entire bout despite the pain. It wasn't just about his skill, it was his intelligence and composure that stood out. Fans in Philly and beyond watched a true master at work as Shakur showed why he's one of boxing's brightest stars. Even hurt, he owned the ring, proving that greatness isn't about having perfect conditions, it's about raw skill, heart, and unbreakable focus.
Yeah. Shakur knows he could have got stopped too, but Shakur hurt his left hand. His left hand was hurt. If you notice, he was using that jab a lot.
Yeah, jab and then the hook.
And he threw the left hand every now and then. Because I was screaming out. Everybody said they heard me in Philly.
Yo, we can hear you on the TV.
Yeah, that's my young buck. You know what I mean? And I was telling him, throw that straight left hand. Then I noticed when he did throw it, he wasn't throwing it real hard. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But he looks spectacular, man. You know, you can't ask for nothing more, man. And with me, I don't care about what people say, man. They always want to talk about you and say, oh, he should have did this, should have did that. He did everything that he was supposed to do, and he did it right.
The showdown between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney is a fight that has everyone talking. Both fighters are at the top of their game, Shakur with his flawless technique, and Devin with his speed and raw power. Every second in that ring will be a battle, and fans are losing it, analyzing every move, every punch, wondering who will come out on top. Shakur's masterful skill faces off against Devin's explosive agility, making this a fight for the ages. The buzz is electric, and this bout has the potential to shape both fighters' legacies, leaving us with one of the most unforgettable moments in boxing history. Don't blink, this fight is going to be pure fireworks.
A fight that even remotely sparks my interest for Shakur Stevenson is this guy right here, Devin Haney. Look at them, they're the same size. Obviously, Devin's moved up to 147. Shakur demands a catch weight. We'll see if Devin goes for the bait, because I think Shakur Stevenson, there's no doubt about it, he has the skills to compete at 147.
And that's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more, and we'll catch you next time.
Make sure you like, subscribe to Fighters Arena Pro, and share this video with every real fight fan out there. Much love from Fighters Arena Pro.